Etwisheni village, hidden deep in the heart of South Africa's Eastern Cape, Etsomo was a land of legends, whispered stories and untold magic. Surrounded by rolling hills and thick forests, the village of Amaxhosa lived in harmony with nature, their traditions and custom passed down through generations. But everything changed the day Enigma arrived. Enigma was like none other the villagers had ever seen. From the moment he set foot in the village, herds turned and hearts raced. His tall, muscular frame towered over everyone, his skin the color of midnight, smooth and radiant under the African sun. His deep brown eyes were like pools of mystery. His smile, oh, his smile could melt even the coldest of hearts. At first, the elders thought he was just another wanderer, someone passing through. But there was something about Enigma that made everyone uneasy. He had no family, no history, no roots in the land. Yet, everywhere he went, women followed him with their eyes, their whispers, and their desires. It wasn't just his looks. No, it was his voice. When Enigma spoke, it was as if the entire valley paused to listen. His words were like music, sweet and soft, yet with a force that made everyone's soul tremble. His mere presence was enough to leave any woman in the village breathless. But as weeks turned into months, the villagers began to notice something strange. No matter how many women fell under Enigma's spell, something always seemed off. Those who were closest to him began to act differently. They became withdrawn, their eyes dull and hollow, their bodies frail. It wasn't just that they had given themselves to him. They seemed to have lost something vital. Their energy, their joy, their spirit, they were all gone. One by one, women vanished from the village, never to be seen again. The elders began to speak in hushed tones, their once proud faces filled with suspicion. There is more to Enigma than meets the eye, they whispered. His charm is not of this world. Some said that he was a powerful spirit in disguise. Others believed that he had made a pact with dark forces. But one woman, Zimkhitha, daughter of the village's most powerful Sangoma, was not afraid to ask the questions no one else dared. Zimkhitha had always been different, a beautiful, fierce woman with intelligence and wisdom beyond her eyes. She had been taught the ways of the ancestors, the sacred arts of healing, and the hidden secrets of the world beyond the physical. She was one of the few who could see through the veil of charm that Enigma wore so effortlessly. Zimkhitha knew that Enigma was not just a handsome stranger. She had heard the stories of the spellbinding allure, his power to bend even the strongest hearts to his will. But she refused to believe that it was mere beauty that held such a grip over the women. There was something darker at play, something that needed to be uncovered before it was too late. Enigma's charm was so potent that it started to tear the very fabric of the village apart. No one was immune. Beautiful, strong women from all walks of life found themselves enchanted by him. Some came willingly, others were coerced by his promises of love and devotion. But each one who spent a night with Enigma returned changed. Their eyes lost their shine, their skin grew pale, and their hearts seemed to beat at a lower, weaker rhythm. It was not just the women who felt the pull of this magic. Men too grew restless. They noticed their wives slipping away, their daughters sneaking off in the middle of the night to see the mysterious stranger. It was as if the valley itself had become bewitched, and no one could escape his hold. One night, as Zimkhitha stood outside her hut, she heard the sound of hushed voices. The village's women were gathering in secret, sharing stories of what had happened when they were alone with him. Their voices trembled with fear and regret. He changed, one woman said, her voice cracking. He was not a man. She hesitated, as if too was afraid to speak the truth. He has the power to make you forget everything, your family, your life, even who you are. It's as if he feeds on us, our very souls. Zimkhitha's heart sank. She knew she had to act, but she needed proof. She had to know the truth about Enigma's curse, and she would not rest until she uncovered it. Zimkhitha, with the strength of her ancestors running through her veins, decided to confront Enigma. She knew the risk. Many before her had tried to resist his charms and failed. But she was not like the others. She was determined, prepared, and most of all, brave. That night, Zimkhitha made a potion using sacred herbs and magical roots that she had learned about from her mother. It was said to reveal the truth about any spell, to expose what was hidden beneath the surface. She dressed herself in a cloak of shadows, blending with the night, and made her way to Enigma's house. When she arrived, she saw him standing outside, staring at the moon. His tall, muscular frame seemed to glow under the silver light. His eyes locked on the sky, but it wasn't just his beauty that caught her attention. No, it was something more. The air around him seemed to shimmer, a faint ripple as if something unnatural was hanging in the air. Zimkhitha entered his house without a word, her heart racing in her chest. She had to stay calm. Enigma turned to face her, his eyes narrowing in interest. "Ah, Zimkhitha," he said with a smile that could melt the coldest heart. "I've been waiting for you." "I've heard many stories about you, Enigma," Zimkhitha said, her face steady despite the knot of fear tightening in her stomach. "And I've come to see the truth for myself." Luyanda's smile faltered for just a moment, but it was enough for Zimkhitha to notice. She knew then that her suspicions were right. As the night wore on, Zimkhitha and Enigma engaged in conversation, each word from him dripping with seduction, each gesture carefully measured to charm her. But Zimkhitha wasn't fooled. She waited for the moment when his true nature would reveal itself. And then, at the peak of the night, when the moon was high and the valley seemed to hold its breath, Enigma made his move. As he moved closer to Zimkhitha, she noticed something terrifying. His body, once solid and strong, began to twist and twirl. His once perfect skin began to shimmer as though scales were forming beneath it. And then, with a horrifying hiss, Enigma's manhood transformed into a snake. A long, dark serpent with glowing eyes and venomous fangs. Zimkhitha barely had time to react before the snake lunged at her. But with a quick motion, she flung the protective potion she had prepared earlier. The snake recoiled, twisting in pain as the magic from the potion burned it. Enigma, racked with pain, collapsed to the floor, his human form flickering like a mirage. Why? Zimkhitha demanded, standing tall, her heart racing. Why did you do this? What are you? Enigma's voice, now distorted and hollow, answered her. I was cursed, born to this fate. I could not resist the temptation of power, the thirst for control over the hearts of men and women alike. My true nature is that of a serpent, and it is this serpent that feeds on the souls of those who love me. With those final words, Zimkhitha called upon the ancestors, using her Sangoma powers to sever the bond between Enigma and the serpent. The snake twisted violently before bursting into flames. Its curse finally lifted. Enigma let out one last scream, his human form crumbling to dust as the magic that had bound him to the serpent faded into nothingness. When Zimkhitha returned to the village, the women were freed from Enigma's spell. They began to regain their vitality, their spirits returned, and the village once again flourished. The curse had been broken, and the name of Enigma was spoken only in whispers, a lesson for generations to come. Zimkhitha was hailed as a hero, but she knew the true battle was not over. The power of the snake still lingered in the valley, a reminder that even the most charming of men can hide the darkest of secrets. The story of Enigma and the serpent became a tale passed down from mother to daughter, a warning about the dangers of unchecked desire and the power of one woman's courage to stand against evil. And so the Twishani village remained, forever shaped by the snake's curse and the bravery of the one who dared to face it.